Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury, and today is March 10th, is Wednesday. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. It was quite a sort of interesting ride today in the market. It was like we were positive, and then it seemed like we were going to have another crazy sort of negative day. Obviously, I think the market just needed to take a breather from yesterday's massive bullish run. And I wasn't surprised. I think we talked about a lot of the resistance levels that we broke through on a lot of the stocks that we sort of watch on this channel. And so it was sort of an expected kind of, take a breather day, nothing really to be concerned about. And so in this video, I just want to go over the stocks that we cover on this channel. It's going to be Apple, Tesla, Palantir, Clover Health, and we're also going to talk about AMC and AI. So the SPY was up today, just about 0.62%. It was, modest up. We passed the stimulus bill today. The House passed it. The news came out. I didn't really see that big of a deal. I think I saw a bump maybe around here in the middle of the day in terms of the volume, but it wasn't really a big deal. A lot of stocks sort of gained and then they kind of gave back. And so I think it was, the stocks have been sort of trading with that news factored in. And so it's expected to get signed this week, which is great news for all of us, especially for you guys who might be hurting out there. Just hang in there. Help is on the way. So the first stock we're going to talk about is Apple. And Apple, clearly this 122 has been giving it sort of resistance the last couple days. And so Apple was interesting, right? So it was down even when the market was up, and it was down because there was news of an iPhone shortage due to global parts. So these, chip makers and a lot of these, like the AMDs and whatnot, we just can't get parts to do these phones. And so they've cut sort of, they're forecasting still to do over 200 million units this year in the iPhone, but they figure that they're actually going to see a sort of a reduction initially on the iPhone minis. And so the negative news, just, iPhone is still a significant amount of revenue for Apple. And so when you talk about any type of reduction or cuts in Apple, you're going to see the stock tank. So even when the market and the S&P were actually still doing pretty well in the morning, so you can see we actually were trading upwards, Apple was trading down, and it never really seemed like it could sort of get some legs. And so yesterday's highs were clearly the top at the 122. And then more or less it just held the level and traded sideways. And so I thought maybe today we might see a level of 117.81. But it held pretty good. So we have this dab level here at 120, and it pretty much closed right around 120. So let's kind of see how the week portrays. And again, Apple's been just beaten down the last few weeks down over here. And so let's kind of see how this goes. Tesla, same thing. Is we talked about yesterday our 3 levels of resistance, and I mentioned that we're probably going to see 695 tomorrow, which we did. And so again, we traded over, we tested it as support, it clearly failed. And so again, 695 is still a very strong resistance. And then you can see here, guess what we did? We went back and we validated, like we did back here, our previous resistance of $660, and we validated that once, twice, 3, 4 times before we bounced on that level. Okay, and so that's a great now support level of 660 for Tesla. 695 is going to continue to act as resistance. And just what happened, right, is where did Tesla break down? It broke down at this level here before we had essentially 4 straight red candles. Okay, so 716 to 720, and so today we hit a high of 717. Okay, so this is where Tesla started to break down. So we came back today and we just faded off of it. And so again, as we sort of make our way back up, again, we'll be looking to at least get back to the 50-day here at the 780. But again, Tesla's been completely beaten down, and now we're technically out of the oversold territory. But most importantly, guys, is this is what I was looking at right here. Okay, the crossover on the signal line. If you notice back here in January 22nd, we've been trading negative momentum in Tesla for almost 2 months now. And it's been like that for a long time. And the last time we had sort of the crossover was back here when we had this breakout, okay, way back here, okay. So you can see that we started to see positive momentum. So when we see this crossover, I'm expecting that the MACD crossing over the signal line, we should start to see some positive bullish momentum. And again, that's going to get us hopefully right back up into the 800 levels, okay. So let's hang in there, stay positive. Palantir, same sort of idea is, as it's building these contracts, as people realize how cheap the stock has gotten in the low 20s, we're going to start trading back up these levels. So in the morning, first thing is we traded right off this 25.50 level. We held it for a little bit, and then you can see these long wicks, guys. There's still some selling pressure coming in, right? So the sellers are pushing this thing down, and then you can clearly see that we failed that support and never really seemed to rebound. Okay, so we tested it, we failed. and now we sort of traded sideways. So, same sort of thing is we're all testing the 20-day averages on a lot of stocks. So we did that for Palantir. We did that today for Tesla. And so the 20-day average was tested as the highs on a lot of these stocks. But, same thing with Palantir and the demo day next month. I'm completely bullish on the stock. I think we have solid consolidation here in the 23, 24 area. And so we already know where the risk is. And again, guys, what we're looking for is as a jump in volume like we had on these days. We're looking for a pickup in volume to really get the buyers in to push the stock up. And then same thing here. You can see that a lot of these setups of where the MACD line is going to cross over the signal line, indicating something. When's the last time we got that, right? Is when we got this massive volume and this massive green candle, which was again an engulfing candle. Okay, so I was mentioning to you guys before, don't just randomly buy and expect that you're finding the bottom. Okay, if you're not waiting for confirmation, you're going to keep buying, and you're going to find that eventually you just run out of money. Okay, and so for Palantir, it's just been trading sideways. I know we've gotten slightly down a couple days, down in like the 22, 21 area, but more or less it's just been trading sideways, as you can see here, and it's off of the lower Bollinger Band. Okay, and so that's really what I'm looking for, is when we see this crossover, which again is very soon. I expect us to break back out. Okay, so we could definitely get back up here, and we could even look for at least a gap fill in the 32 here. Okay. For Clover Health, same thing. That 815 has been great for us. As we talked about yesterday, we broke it, we validated it, and more or less today we try to get up on Clover Health with the momentum in the market, and we didn't quite get that high to 925, but we traded just around the pivot, 815. And so you can see that the 815 is a pretty strong support. It was mainly trading sideways. I know that we closed, we had a high of 860. But more or less we closed at 811, so we were right there. And so I expect tomorrow, same thing. We'll probably test these highs, 850, and let's see if we can get some momentum in the stock. But now you can start to see some consolidation. Okay, so we're not just going lower. We're now trading consolidating at these levels, right? 730 has been clear bottom the last few days. Okay, and so again, we don't see an engulfing candle. We don't see necessarily a big volume pick. But what else do we see? Same setup, right? The MACD crossing over the signal line, possibly indicating this thing's had negative momentum. I looked till January, longer than Tesla. This has been a negative momentum now for 2 months. So again, last time we saw positive momentum, what happened? The stock, right, started to trade positive, tried to trade up, and it broke out. And so same thing here. Just wait for confirmation, guys. Wait for that engulfing candle. I mentioned yesterday I didn't quite see that. I wanted to see it trade right over here, which is this high here at 925 or 930, and once we trade over that and can close over it, I really felt like we could definitely see the reversal, right? So higher highs, higher lows, and we're seeing that now. But if we want confirmation, we really want to see a jump in volume to know where the buyer's at, just like they were here when they were selling based on that short seller report. Okay, so we're waiting for a big volume day. We're waiting for the sign of positive momentum. Clearly we're off the oversold part of the RSI, and we're starting to come up. And so hopefully you guys were able to get some dip buys here for Clover and utilize it sort of rebounding. And I mentioned as before, same game plan. I'll be selling into the push to 1050, and you can see here the 20-day average is right here around $10. Okay, so I'll be selling right above here, right under 1050. AMC, great play, solid buy, guys. We called this on the channel several times, said that there's going to be a fill right here at this level, right under 13 in the 12s, and today we got 1247. And so hopefully you got that breakout in AMC. It was great, got it, and then clearly it sold off and failed, and it had earnings, and I didn't expect it to hold up the 10 level. I figured we'd probably get down here, and we'll see. It's a reopening play, and the reopening plays have been kind of bullish lately, but I could definitely see this thing could possibly go back down to $8, and so we'll see. It held its level though pretty well after the earnings were released, and it lost, of course, a crap load of money. So again, the idea is to really get out of this trade and to move on to something else now that the breakouts happened and the fills happened. Okay, another stock I do want to cover for you guys today is I did pick up some AI shares. I've just been watching this thing. And same thing, if you were a buyer of the stock up here, you lost a ton of money. And you can see as you go on this Bollinger Band, if you're constantly just trying to find the bottom, where's your confirmation? But if you wait, and especially after earnings, if you waited 1, 2, 3 days, you'd say, okay, now instead of me buying in the 100s, I'm buying in the high 80s. And you can see here is you have 5 days, guys, of consolidation, where the low here is, I think it was like 77 down here, but more or less from the 82 up to the 90 range, you have this sort of sideways consolidation, as opposed to essentially newer, lower highs and lower lows. You now have sort of, levels that you can say, okay, I'm going to dip by. And so I was scalping this trade all day, and then I was like, you know what, I feel pretty comfortable holding on to some shares here around the 84 area, and so I just hold on to some shares. And my goal is 10 points. Where did this thing break down? This thing broke down right here at this level, right around 110. And so I'm not going to be that greedy. I'm just going to go for 10 points. I'm going to go for about 94, 95. But if you're a long-term bull on AI, you could easily get to 110 in no time. I mean, that's not even the 20-day. And so I expect tomorrow, or sometime either Friday or next week, to get up to 94, and I'll sell it. But I could easily see this thing going for right here. 110 would be my price target, and maybe I might carry a small portion depending on how fast we get to 94. Okay. And so same thing, we were up there this morning, and then the market just felt heavy, and it sold back down. Okay. And so you just got to be careful with this stock, but it clearly has a good bottom here around 80, 83, 84 dollars. Okay. And so with that said, guys, that's our daily recap for today. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. If you did enjoy this video, please do me a big favor and hit the like button. It does help this channel. As you know, we're a new channel. We're still trying to grow our subscribers. And so with that said, guys, I appreciate your support, and I hope you had a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.